Hi, my name's Emily Kyle. So thank you so much for listening. Today's question of the day is, I have a special needs child and I don't know what to do in terms of my estate plan. So please remember, this is not legal advice. Please understand that I don't understand all of the circumstances or any of the circumstances of your situation, but I just wanted to give you some kind of overview of information to think about, whether you come see us or go see another attorney. So one of the most important things when you have an individual in your estate plan who has special needs, meaning perhaps they are unable to manage their finances on their own, or maybe they receive Medicaid benefits, we call that in Arizona Altex, or services through the Department of Developmental Disabilities, or perhaps they're on SSI, Supplemental Security Income, or would be eligible for SSI, but for the fact that if they inherit from you, they'll no longer qualify. So those programs, that is Medicaid and SSI, have a $2,000 asset limit in the name of the person who is receiving the benefits. So your estate plan should be very clear that if you're going to leave money to that individual, that those assets would go into something called a special needs trust or a supplemental needs trust, or a trust that's just completely discretionary, meaning that there are no automatic distributions for that beneficiary. Lots of trusts that are drafted say maybe your beneficiaries will receive some money at age 25 and some at 30 and some at 35, or maybe it says they'll get 10% a year or distributions of $2,000 a month or whatever that might be. But for our special needs beneficiaries, we need to make sure that they don't receive that money outright or they'll lose those important benefits. So make sure your estate plan has provisions for that beneficiary. Now, the best way to do that, in my opinion anyway, is to have a separate trust document for that beneficiary, because when the money comes in, perhaps at your death, then that trust has to be disclosed. That is, a copy needs to be sent to all the public benefit programs that are providing services or benefits for that beneficiary. If it's part of your will, we have to send the whole will. And sometimes that's a little bit more difficult to explain, and we have to get a new tax identification number for it and a whole host of other things. Same thing is if you have that as a provision within your trust, we still have to send your whole trust document, not just the pages that deal with that beneficiary. The next part is if, as I said, to do the reporting, maybe we have other people who want to leave money to that beneficiary. Well, it's much easier to leave it to, the Marissa Special Needs Trust, that's its own thing, than it is to the Marissa Special Needs Trust, a sub-trust of mom and dad's trust, or, a trust to be created under our will, which doesn't even spring to life when we're both deceased. So my opinion is that having a separate trust document is the way to go. Also easier to get a new tax identification number for it once we have to open an account, easier to go to the bank or the financial institution and get that account opened when you have a separate trust document. And when you want to name it perhaps as the beneficiary of life insurance or a retirement account, again, much easier on those beneficiary forms. But you don't have to. You can have it as a subtrust of your will or in your own trust document. My least favorite is when people say that a special needs trust will be created upon the death of you. Because then the question is, well, what's it supposed to say? And who's supposed to be the trustee? And who gets the money when that beneficiary passes away? I think that just leads to a lot of other questions. So remember, when you're ready to do your estate plan, which is really important when you have special needs beneficiaries, we don't want them to lose their government assistance at your passing or when somebody leaves them money. Make sure you have a special needs trust set up for that beneficiary. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And I am Emily Kyle.